Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested here in San Diego for Comic-Con 2017. And one of the great things about Comic-Con is it really takes over the entire city of San Diego, and a lot of pop-up museums and activations all around the city. And this year, we're here at the Laika Experience. Laika Entertainment they have 4 movies, stop-motion films, Coraline, Box Trolls, Kubo and the Two Strings last year, and my personal favorite, maybe a little biased, Paranorman. And what they've brought here to San Diego is a selection of the puppets they've made for their films and the environments and the vehicles. And we're going to up-close look, no glass, at these puppets which they fabricated.
That's mine.
I love stop-motion animation. It just feels so tangible, and that the physicality of the characters, the hand-builtness of it all shows on screen. Even the locations, these sets, hundreds of them made for every film, so much detail have to be fabricated for something as simple as a house, from the paint on the driveway to even inside this car. You can see the electronics work and the armature that connect to the puppets. So when they sit in the car, they can even animate how they bounce around as the car drives. It's just incredible. So here at the Laika Experience, this is Steve Wong, who works at Laika. You're a unit photographer on set?
Yeah, I'm the still unit photographer, so I do stills and video and things like that.
Steve has my dream job, because working at Laika, you get to watch the entire 5-year process for making a film like Kubo, and you get to photograph all the promo photos, all the amazing time lapses we see in the end credits. That's you and your team, right?
Yeah. It's pretty much a lot of it is just working with all the different artists. So for a time lapse, we'll work with the animators or the set dressers or the set builders and things like that. So we'll set it up and they'll let them do their thing, and then we'll just put it on a timer, or sometimes with animators, we actually give them a little device and then they do it themselves, which leads to a lot of animators doing their own little thing while they're animating, which is kind of a fun stuff. So.
A set like this is put on a stage. An animator works on here for days and weeks just to get a couple seconds of on-screen footage. Exactly. How many stages are there at Laika that are running at the same time?
We're ever expanding right now. I mean, I think right now, last time I heard was almost 100. I don't quote me on a number, but it's a bunch. But some of the sets are really small, so really smaller in size, and some are just huge. I think you can't really see some of the bigger sets, but the big guy right there, the big giant skeleton, was on a huge set, and something like the smaller skeleton like that would be on a small set.
From a production standpoint, it's a logistics nightmare to coordinate, to piece 2-second, 5-second segments together for an hour-and-a-half film. What's your favorite part of working there? What part of the process do you like documenting the most?
It's actually the people. I really like the people. I think that's what makes it the best. My job is to show the behind the scenes, but I like showing the people that make it. Because a lot of times you'll just see the hands and things like that, but it's really the individuals and the artists that do it. Because when you see something like a puppet right here, like Kubo, you just think, oh, it's a puppet. You think of the animator, but you don't think of the puppet crew that makes it. You don't think of the people in hair and fur that make it. You don't think of the model shop people that make the swords. You don't think of the costume people that make it. You don't think of sets that makes the sets. You don't think of scenic working on paint and landscapes that working on foliage and things like that. So you don't really think of that when you see Kubo. There's so much that goes within, and I just love meeting the people because everybody has their own stories. And there's people that worked on all these different movies. Some people worked on say Disney Imagineers and things like that, or people that worked on Star Wars and all that kind of stuff. So I love hearing the stories from people. It's all about behind the scenes. And my job, rather than showcase just the work, I like showcasing the people. So it's all about the people.
That's awesome. And so if you pick up something like an art book or behind the scenes books or watch a featurette, you'll see some of your work at Laika. Well, thank you so much for bringing these puppets here and having this set up. It's such an amazing display you have here. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
When you look up close to one of the puppets Laika makes, you really realize they're mixed media. It's not just a 3D printed face. You combine that with the cut and sew, the clothes that have to be fabricated, with the sculpted hair, and everything has to be armatured so that you can position every little piece for the animation sequence. Now, Laika has also experimented with fully 3D printed characters like the Moon Beast here from Kubo and the Two Strings. This one here is actually 130 different 3D printed parts put on top of armature so that it can actually animate like a standard puppet, but fully 3D printed. To make one of these films, Laika has to shoot over 100,000 stills, which they use with just a DSLR, a Canon 5D, just like the one I have actually. But it's really about the puppets and the facial expressions. The fabrication here is so beautiful, and Laika is known for pioneering and using rapid prototyping, 3D printing, right out of the printer as their puppets. So for the movie Coraline that they started off with, those are hand-sculpted faces. They made about 6,000 faces for those films, which allowed Coraline to have about 200,000 different expressions. By the time they moved to Paranorman and Box Trolls, they were 3D printing their faces, different components magnetically attached to the puppets, and they could do up to 1.5 million expressions. And for Kubo and the two strings, Kubo himself had up to 48 million different potential expressions.